Hello, welcome back to the second part of the elementary schools video. If you haven't seen the first part, go to my channel Swa World and look for the part 1 video on the same topic. So in the second video, we're going to talk more about gifted programs in elementary schools, state tests, lunch options, attendance policy, and other extracurricular activities, and some recommendations to the parents at the end. So first let's talk about gifted program. So every school has a gifted program where they kind of assess each kid to see if they're gifted in terms of academics or if they're excelling in different aspects like cognitive ability and so on. And they group all such kids into a gifted program where those kids are given more challenging tasks and advanced instructions so they can be challenged and motivated and do not feel bored in the current grades. So the schools conduct these tests. Sometimes they do it for the entire grade, or let's say as a parent you want your child to be evaluated for gifted program, you could send a note to the gifted coordinator in the school and they conduct tests only for your kid. So such special tests are kind of considered as referrals or identifiers, whereas if they're doing tests for the entire grade, it's called as screening. So depending on whether it's a screening or a referral or identifier, the final percentage score that they get in this test would actually determine if a kid is gifted or not. So schools usually use Iowa tests or COGAT tests, Terranova tests and so on to determine whether a child is gifted or not. Some schools may have their own specific tests as well. So if you think your child has excellent academic capabilities, reach out to the gifted coordinator and find out the timelines on when these tests happen and plan accordingly. Next item is about state tests. So these are like final tests that happen at the end of the grade. Usually they start from grade 3 onwards, and in grade 3 state tests are only in math and English, whereas as the grades go higher they will also be tested on social science and other courses as well. In the state tests again there are 4 levels of categorization depending on how the score is. So it is more like, did the kid meet expectations? Is he proficient? Is he advanced? And so on. So if a child is below the required expectations, then the teachers might work with you as a parent and with the kid to make sure they improve and do better in the next test. Again, there are some practice tests available for each state that you can check out and make your kids practice at home to get a familiarity of how these tests would look like. So our next item is about school lunch. So every school provides school lunch options, and every kid can have a lunch account. You could put some money in that lunch account and the kid can go to the cafeteria and provide their student ID number, and automatically they would look at their lunch account and they look at balance that is remaining and then they give them food. Usually school lunches are very well balanced. There is always some kind of a meat or protein, or and they will also be veggies and fruits and milk options and so on. And the school lunches are priced at a very nominal rates, and there are also some subsidized lunch options available for low income families. If you think that your income is very low, you can apply to these subsidized lunch options. You can reach out to schools and they'll make you fill a form and they will evaluate to see if you really fit into that category. If so, they would allow your kids to have these subsidized lunch options, which are like mostly either free or charged at a very nominal price. And also the lunch timings can vary by grades, like all first graders go at one time, second graders at a different time, and so on. That's because cafeterias are usually small and they cannot fit all the kids at once. And you can also send a lunch from home. You can also send snacks as well, but you just have to be cautious not to send any allergic foods like peanuts and fish or shrimp or things which are kind of allergic. You have to watch out. and you have to instruct your kids not to share their food with others because you never know what allergies the other kid has. And next item is about recess. So there are either one or two recess depending on the grades. So during the recess, kids go out and play in the play areas. And usually during winters, kids are made to play indoors in the gym or somewhere inside the school. Whereas in summers, they go outside and play. And and the summers in US are pretty hot, so make sure kids have sunscreen on. And one more important thing is every school has a medical team, like a school nurse and probably some assistants, depending on the size of the school. These school nurses, they take care of basic medical care. Like if your kid suddenly falls somewhere and gets hurt, they can go to the school nurse and get some medicine, or they will have Tylenol and other fever related or pain related medicines that your kid can go and get help from. And if your kid needs to take some medicine on a regular basis, usually we need to send something like a medicine permission slip, and that is submitted to the school nurse office, and they would actually have the kids take these medicines during school hours. And next important thing is about attendance. So there are different types of attendance again. There is something called excused absence, unexcused absence, there is tardy, and so on. If a kid is late, it is considered as tardy. And usually, per school year, kids are allowed to have only up to 7 days of unexcused absence. If it's beyond that, then there will be communication from principal, and you have to go and talk to the principal and so on. Always call the school if you know that your child is going to be absent, and if the child is suddenly sick and they're not going to school on that day, just call the attendance line that every school provides, or call the school office and let them know that the kid is not coming. And if you know that your child will be absent on a particular day, if it's a planned vacation, then there is something called attendance slip where you could fill it, sign it, and send it with your kid ahead of time, and they can submit it to their teacher or in the school office. That way, it will be considered as an excused absence. And if your child has been sick, they're not supposed to come back to school until they are free from fever for about 24 hours. And if you have to pick up your kid early for a doctor appointment, or you have to pick them up in the middle of the school day again for some kind of an appointment, you can always send a form to the school notifying that you will pick them up early today, or you could even email the teacher or call the office and let them know. In our earlier video about elementary schools, we talked about some of the extracurricular activities that happen in school, like music, physical education, art, and health. In addition to those, there are more activities that happen in school. Some examples are given here, like Girls on the Run, where girls join as a group and run. And there are also Girls and Boy Scout programs that start as early as in kindergarten or first grade. And there are also multicultural fairs where kids from different countries can present about their countries and their food and so on. And there are several field trips as well where they go to museums or science exhibitions and so on. And there are school clubs as well, like a book club or a spell bee club and so on. So now let's talk about other things outside school. So first thing is we'll start knowing about summer camps. So every area has summer camp options. Like you can go to YMCA if you have one nearby and ask for what summer camps they have and try to register in one of them if you are interested. And in some areas they have rec centers. They also conduct summer camps, and if there are any sport clubs near you, they also conduct summer camps in some kind of a sport, or a volleyball, basketball, or any sport for that matter. And Again, the recreation parks also conduct summer camps. Libraries also do it. So you can reach out to all these different places to know what summer camps they have. And usually the registration for all these camps start in March, and the summer camps actually start in June, July timeframe. So, and these summer camps get filled out really fast. So make sure to register in March whenever they open up if you are interested in something. And here I've listed some options about academic help. Some of the well-known ones are like Qmon, Best Brains, Mathnasium, Tutoring Clubs, Vasti Tutors, Sylvan, and all these. So they all have academic tutoring available. Some of them have one class per week, and some have daily classes, and some have online options. So you can choose what best works for your kid and take that. And let's talk about other outside the school activities. Some of them include swimming, sports clubs, music schools, dance, and gymnastics. And there are places where they teach you coding and skating and karate and so on. So, in the elementary school, it's good to have your kids try out all these different things. And as they go to middle school, they can pick out what they like best and continue in that space. And as a parent, we need to be aware of some of these competitions as well. So, at an elementary school level, there are some competitions available if you are interested, such as Math Kangaroo, Science Olympiad, Spell Bee, Invention Convention, which is like a science fair thing. And there are some regional contests conducted by North South Foundation. You should check that out as well. In this slide, we'll talk about some recommendations to parents. So, first thing is make sure to track your kids' homework and ensure they're completing it on time, and observe their academic performance. And if you see that they're lacking in something, try to provide resources to help them. And if there's still challenges with your kid, work with the teacher to make sure both of you come up with a plan for him or her. Usually, the teachers are very supportive and they try to help your kids as much as possible. So, be patient, work with them, don't put too much pressure on the kids, and take it a bit easy because it's still elementary school and they should have more fun here. Next most important thing is to make sure your kids read some book every day. Try to pick age appropriate books for them and make sure they read it every single day and make it a habit, because this reading would help them build vocabulary, and it also helps to a great extent when they do college entrance examinations in high school. So because those tests like SAT, ACT, they have a lot of reading comprehension, and if the kid has a good comprehension power, it helps them do those tests very well. Next thing is we talked about different extracurricular activities like swimming, music, dance, and coding, and different kinds of clubs and so on, right? So try to put in your kid in as many activities as possible so they can figure out what they like and what they don't. And depending on that, you can further decide in which area you want your kid to pursue. Don't over stress them as well by putting in too many activities. Just plan them out properly. That way, they're not too stressed out and they enjoy doing these things. Next suggestion is for parents. As a parent, try to volunteer in the school, be part of the PTO committees, and help out the school as well as teachers as much as possible. And also, if the school is asking for some kind of a donations, be generous with it. Another thing is to monitor your kids for emotional well-being. That's a very important aspect. These days we are seeing a lot of kids with depression and other problems like that. So make sure you constantly observe your kid, talk to them, and look for any signs of depression or bullying. If so, talk to the school if needed. And one last suggestion is to make it a habit to give small gifts to teachers during holidays or during teacher appreciation days and so on. That will be a nice token of appreciation for all the hard work that the teachers put in. So that's about it. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. I'm going to cover more about middle school and high school as well. So keep on the lookout for those videos. Thanks again. Bye.